Hey y'all, I'm Abby.
And I'm Keith.
Welcome to our 80s Life. This is the 80s Cruise edition. I cannot believe it's almost time for the 80s Cruise yet again.
And we are not ready.
Truth be told, we are not ready. It's very wintry here. It's hard to believe it's time to start packing swimsuits and planning costumes, but it is.
We are seniors this year, so this is our fourth 80s Cruise. So after doing 4 of these, we finally figured out what we need to bring. So we are going to show you the top 10 essential things that you should bring on the 80s Cruise.
And these are things you might not already know about. So I'm sure you know when you go on a cruise, bring things like sunscreen and swimsuits and sunglasses and whatever else. But these are some essentials that you may not know that you need. You don't know until you know. And we take notes every year, bring this. And now we've developed a list of things that are like essential. So those are the things we're going to tell you. It's not going to be every single thing, but our top 10. All right, starting with you, Keith, what do you have for the first item?
All right, so if you are into vinyl or you're into getting autographs from the talent that's on the boat, bring Sharpie pens. Bring a black one and bring a silver one.
And bring your albums or your merch, your t-shirt, your photographs, whatever you want them to sign. Bring it with you and have it ready.
That's right. Our first year, we didn't know to do that. Missed opportunities. There were some great opportunities to get some signatures from some artists that we missed out on. We have developed a nice collection over the last couple years of signed vinyl covers.
Yeah, so since that first year, we started bringing our albums. We have an album carrier that we use. We can link it below. It's just something we got online. We don't bring the record, obviously. We just bring the case.
Bring the case, the cover.
The covers. Yeah. And these are some of the ones we've gotten signed over the past few years. And it's been really exciting. You'll get a chance to meet some of these artists. You do have to plan ahead, go to the meet and greets. Sometimes they're early in the morning, so you have to set your alarm to go to those and bring your Sharpie and your album. Some of them in Studio B especially, they might sign it after an event or after a show. So you could just have it with you at the ready so that you can get those things signed because it's really fun to get autographs.
That's right. Or you might run into them in the elevator. You never know.
You never know. So be ready and have your Sharpies ready because they're not bringing their own. Number 2 is analog watches and travel alarm clocks. Like a swatch.
We love swatch.
Of course we love swatches. I have tons of these thanks to my friend Charles, and I love wearing the vintage ones on the 80s Cruise. It's one of the few places where if I wear a vintage watch and a vintage swatch, my friends are going to notice.
So if you're crossing time zones and you have your iWatch on and you don't have the internet package, it's probably not going to update the time. So there were many times on the cruise where we had no clue, one, what time zone we were in, but what time it was.
And a couple of times during the cruise, we've had daylight savings to add on to the confusion. So it's a little bit confusing to know what time it is. The best way to know is to set an analog watch and a travel alarm clock because your alarm clock on your phone might also not work or might not have the exact right time because you're out at sea and the signal's super sketchy. So bring a real alarm clock, preferably a battery one because there just aren't a lot of outlets. We'll talk about that later. And yeah, wear your swatch on the 80s Cruise, obviously.
I mean, it's the 80s Cruise.
Gotta do it.
Act like you're in the 80s.
What's next, Keith?
Third essential is this little bad boy right here, a night light. Let's face it, we're not getting any younger. People our age, we're lucky if we can go the whole night without getting up at least once, probably 2 or 3 times.
It's rare to go through the whole night.
That's right.
And these rooms are dark, y'all.
Well, especially ours because we don't pay the big bucks to get the balcony room, so we're in the interior. You don't know if it's daylight outside or if it's nighttime.
It's like a cave.
Yeah, that's another reason why you need that clock.
Yeah, so we highly recommend, we always tell people get the interior room, it's cheaper anyway, so that's what we do. But we highly recommend having one of these. So this is battery operated. Once again, the plugs are minimal.
And motion censored.
Motion sensors, and so when you go in the bathroom, you just wave your hand, that thing comes on, and it's great. It's not expensive. It's been a good purchase. It's lasted us like 3 years.
Yeah, we got it on Amazon. We'll link it below, so if you're interested in something like this, you can go find one.
And speaking of that, after you use the bathroom, you should wash your hands. And they do provide soap, but it's those teeny little bar soaps that you get like in a hotel, and I don't really like those. I think they're messy and just so tiny. So I prefer liquid hand soap. So what I do when I go on the cruise, or really most trips, is I just pack a small little thing of liquid hand soap. At the end of the cruise, I might just toss it out or leave it behind. But it's good to have some liquid hand soap. You got to keep your hands clean because you don't want to get sick on the cruise.
If you know Abby, she has great hygiene.
I do. Thank you. I pride myself on my hygiene.
Fifth thing you want to do is bring an extra bag. We call it a puffer. So a puffer could be something like this. So we got this cool 80s duffel bag on
our first cruise.
Was our first cruise?
Yeah, they gave us that.
I love this bag. I carry this bag everywhere. But it's nice. You know, it just smushes down and you can put it in your suitcase. So something like that, bring that because you're definitely going to take home more than you came with most likely because you're going to get swag. You get the pillow gifts every night. You're going to get swag from other cruisers. Cruisers like to make stuff and they bring stuff and it's cool. But you got to get home with all that stuff. So bring a bag like that.
Yeah, something that's expandable. You can just put it in your suitcase and then puff it out.
Puff it.
Our family named that the puffer. I don't know if that's an actual thing. I think my dad invented that word, but it's genius.
Got to deploy the puffer.
Yeah, we call it deploying the puffer. That means I've been shopping.
And Abby likes to shop.
I do. Okay, number 6 is now you don't have to listen to this part. You don't have to pay any attention.
I'm leaving.
Seasick medications.
Oh yeah.
So he's one of the lucky people who is not affected by the ocean waves, like many of us are. If you are prone to travel sickness at all, or just dizziness when you're traveling, I highly recommend a few different things to have in your arsenal to be ready. I don't often have to use them, but on a rough, choppy day, I might have to bust out some seasick meds. So you want to bring those. I'll show you the ones that I use. Your first line of defense is going to be these nausea relief sea bands. Now, people swear by these. I do think they probably work. It's kind of weird and it doesn't seem like it would do anything, but lots of people wear these on cruises. Any nausea, they'll reduce that. I don't understand how they work, but they do. So they come in this little handy carrying thing, and you just have this little pressure point. It's just a bit of plastic. You just put them on and you find this pressure point. The directions in here shows you how to do that. And you wear them like this. So it includes directions on how to position them and how to find the right spot that you want to do. Anyway, these are inexpensive. They're easy to get. I will put a link from Amazon below. And I think it would be a good idea to have these on hand or on your wrist and wear them whenever you feel like you're having a little bit of motion sickness, just to try to stave that off. And here are some over-the-counter products that you can bring with you to help with motion sickness. If you do hit some choppy waters, you can start with ginger chews. This is just ginger candy. There's different brands you can get. I like this one. Comes in different fruity flavors. It sounds gross, but they're actually pretty good. And then another thing that can help is this medicine. It's called meclizine, and this is over the counter. You might have to ask your pharmacist. Sometimes they keep it behind the counter, but it is not requiring a prescription. And it's meclizine. I get the 25 milligrams, and these are chewable. So you just kind of crunch them, and they really do help. And they don't make you drowsy like some of the other things like a Dramamine. The brand name is called Bonine. So you can also ask for that. You can ask your doctor or pharmacist for that. Keep these on hand in case you have a bout. You don't want to wait too long before taking this. Don't wait till it's too late. Take it when you start feeling the motion in the ocean, and you'll be good to go.
As Abby mentioned earlier, there is a shortage of outlets in these cabins. I think there might be 2 in the cabin. So you used to be able to bring Royal Caribbean approved power strips, but now they've changed the rules to where now you can bring a plug that has USB ports. So the traditional USB and the USB-Cs, you can have a plug that has multiple outlets for the USBs, but you can't bring it for the 3-prong plugs anymore. So that's unfortunate because that made it really easy to charge stuff. So it's going to be easy to charge probably your iPhone, your iPads, those type things, but anything that doesn't have a USB type plug, it's going to be a little bit more complicated for you now.
but you will survive. And just keep that in mind. Whatever you can get that uses a USB, USB, or battery operated, go with that when you're looking at electronics.
Right.
Next up, we have probably the most important one, our favorite one, and that's ear protection. Because you are going to be going to some loud, amazing concerts.
A lot of them too.
Yes, but it's not worth harming your ears and your hearing permanently just to rock out to one show. So we recommend protecting your ears with our favorite earplugs, and those are Eargasm. This video is sponsored by Eargasms, and we have a discount for you guys. You can save 10% if you go on their website and enter our promo code R80sLife. We'll also put a link right below in the description.
Number 9 is cash for tips. The staff on board the ship is working really hard for you, and they definitely appreciate if you show them a little love. So bring some cash and take care of your crew.
Okay, the last item is vitamins and supplements and hydration, because you're going to be having such an awesome time, but we want you to stay healthy. Often we come home with the cruise crud. You are on a ship with lots of other people, and of course that means germs. So I recommend taking whatever vitamins and supplements you normally would, and staying well hydrated. But we also take some extra things to keep us healthy, like elderberry and extra vitamin D. You might consider adding zinc to your protocol. And also you could do like the liquid airborne, the powders, hydration powders. Everybody has their own secret formula for how they try to stay well on a cruise. Just don't forget those things. And also when it comes to hydration, you can get bottled water at any of the bars or any of the food stations all over the ship. We recommend asking for 2 and then just bringing an extra one back to your cabin when you're headed back. And you can put it in the little fridge in your cabin so that you always have plenty of bottled water at the ready.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Yes.
We hope these 10 tips help you prepare for the upcoming 80s cruise.
And if you see us on the ship, be sure to say hello. See you there.